Right now, we are heading to a place which is in the middle of a forest. My family and I used to come here every weekend for lunch. We'd sit in the middle of the forest, spread out our mats, and have a picnic. There is a curator who reminds me of the calmness that these picnics used to bring. And she's the one I am going to talk about now and hopefully recommend her works to you in the process.
Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. मेरा नाम वानी है, and in this episode I want to talk to you about a person who has influenced my life. I think she's one of the most influential people in my life. I've learned a lot from her. She is probably my most favorite curator in this whole wide world. Her name is Maria Popova and I've already spoken about her at length. She runs a blog called Brain Pickings and she curates a lot of content there. She publishes an article every day, I think, and her newsletter comes out every Wednesday and Sunday. For every article, she takes up a subject from the pile of things she's read in her entirety of life. She curates the content for the article and she feeds you with very limited knowledge, but something that will stay with you for the rest of your lifetime. And if you're actually interested, you can research on your own. There are a lot of links she provides to, references to books and so on. The reason why I love brain pickings is because as we go about in our everyday lives, there are so many things that we come across that make us anxious. You wake up in the morning, probably feeling fine, but as you go about through the day, you start getting agitated. Small delays, small interruptions probably upset you a lot. This is where brain pickings comes in for me. Maria Popova's writing, her curation really helps me calm down. There are so many things that I've learned from her, especially this one term called pockets of stillness. She says, build your pockets of stillness. At first, I did not really understand what she meant by it. But slowly I realized whenever something is going wrong, horribly wrong in your life, reach out to that pocket, pull out whatever stills you, and hold on to it and let me calm you. We always need anchors in our life. And what I've learned from Maria Popova is you need to start building pockets of those anchors. Start identifying those anchors for yourself so that when something is not working out, you can stabilize yourself against that anchor and just remain calm. She reads a lot. So that is something I probably aspire to do. The same amount of reading that she does. I love the way she talks about everything in general. Maybe it comes from a lot of reading. Maybe it comes from being in a company of people who are like-minded, who are constantly trying to grow. Even her Instagram handle follows her around as she lives life. She clicks random photographs and posts such beautiful captions. I remember there was this photo that she'd clicked of a few berries she'd plucked. And I think the caption went something about asteroids/stones in space. And it just shows you a great perspective. The kind of perspective you can have if you try to segregate things in your life and if you try to give yourself the time you need. One thing I've learned from her, apart from pockets of stillness, is why it is so important to be disciplined in life and why it is so important to give yourself the time it needs with self. Because sometimes the best ideas come to us when we are just free. There's nothing that's bothering us. There's a book called Figuring. As she says, it's a big yellow book. It's actually a collection of writings. It follows the journey of various artists and so on. I think the way she's written about Emily Dickinson, Vincent van Gogh will change something in you. There's also another book which happens to be my favorite. It's called The Velocity of Being. It's famous artists who wrote to kids as to why reading is important. And all these letters took 8 years for her to compile. There are beautiful artworks across every page. So whenever you open a page, the left side reads a letter and the right one is a beautiful artwork. One of my favorite letters in that book is by Ellen de Botton, who actually runs School of Life. And he says you should read books because sometimes the people around us are so tired they do not understand us. And it's not their fault. It's just sometimes they haven't been through something similar to understand what we're going through. And that's when books help us. We always find friends there. But despite all the work and despite all the archive that Maria Popova has built around her, why I really look up to her is because of the thought she has behind doing everything. From building an archive to writing books that are so important. And The thought that has gone into making these things is so pure. You can any day turn to brain pickings when you're looking for information about someone or about a book. And chances are you'll come back with more information that you actually set out to look for. There was this book that I was looking for and had been written by Oliver Sacks, a neurologist. And I came back with a lot more research about similar research papers, similar people of interest who've written something similar in life. And this thought transforms you. Not one word in her articles is wasted. Each line has been utilized so carefully. Well, that's one of the many reasons why I love brain pickings. The very fact that a person, especially a woman, worked on building an archive of things that have changed her life, the things that have transformed her into who she is today. She's sharing it, putting it out for everyone to read. That is something that I really aspire to do. And that is someone I aspire to be one day. If I can also achieve 10% of it, I'll be very satisfied. There is this article that she posts every year, her life lessons from running brain picking. She started it in 2006, and every year she adds a learning there. And in one of those learnings, there is a thing that she talks about. She talks about why it is so important for us to talk about the things that matter. Why we can't rely on other people to do the same. Because not everyone is going to understand your passion, and that's absolutely okay. Because you are not going to understand everyone's passion in return. Do check out Maria Popova. She'll transform your life for better. And you will probably get an archive of learning yourself. And you'll be inspired to build an archive of things that have transformed you in return. And I think that's the best gift anyone can give to anyone. Things that have transformed me. I offer them to you as things that will probably have the potential to change something inside of you for better. So do check her out. Do check out her work. If you want to start with The Velocity of Being. I think it's a collection of one of the most brilliant essays written for kids. And I think even for everyone who wants to start reading. Because you will definitely find a letter that will be dedicated to you in that book. So this was my recommendation. I hope you liked it. And before I go, I want to tell you that you can support us on Patreon or become a member of our YouTube community if you like what we do, if you like the work we do, if you like the recommendations we bring to you. We have carefully divided our patrons into 3 different categories: Goodfellas, Gladiators, Godfathers. And each category comes with its own perks. Godfathers, for example, get to be a part of exclusive WhatsApp groups that are dedicated to movies, music, science, sports, books. They also get to be a part of our quizzes, streams, monthly town hall sessions. The list is endless. So if you like what we do, if you like the work, if you like the recommendations we bring to you, do consider supporting us. It will really help us and it will push us to do better. And I'll be back with another recommendation for you in my next video.